Let me ask you something honestly. How does January 1st usually feel to you? There is this sudden confidence, right? Like this time, something will actually change. You feel clear, you feel ready, and then a few days later, the same old patterns come back, the same tiredness, the same self-blame, and you start thinking, something is wrong with me. I can't stay consistent. I just don't have discipline. If you have ever felt that way, listen carefully. You did not fail. Your brain was doing exactly what it was designed to do. While the emotional experience of January 1st feels personal, the pattern behind it is remarkably consistent across population, culture, and years. People initiate change at the same temporal points. This consistency raised an important question for behavioral scientists. Is motivation responding to meaning or to structure? In 2014, researcher Heng-Jin Dai, Catherine Milkman, and Jason Riss investigated this by examining large-scale real-world behavior. They analyzed gym enrollment records, financial commitment data, and online goal tracking platforms. Their findings were consistent across contexts. Immediately following temporal landmarks, New Year's Day, birthday, the start of a week, people were significantly more likely to begin aspirational actions. The effort was not explained by increased skill, information, or resources. It emerged from a psychological separation of identity. Temporal landmarks allows the brain to treat past failures as belonging to a different version of the self. This reframing increases willingness to initiate change but does not guarantee persistence. Most people think this January motivation comes from willpower. It is not. What actually changes is something much quieter. For a short time, it feels like the line between who you were and who you could become get redrawn. Old mistakes don't feel as heavy. Future success feels closer than usual. And that feeling is very convincing. But here is the part most people don't realize. The brain is not doing this to help you improve your life. It is doing this to feel more certain about the future. That's why motivation feels so easy at first. And that's also why it does not feel stable. Neuroscience provides a deeper explanation for why temporal boundaries feel so powerful. Modern brain theory describes the mind not as a passive receiver of reality, but as an active prediction system. According to computational neuroscientist Carl Friston, the brain continuously generates internal models of the world and updates them to minimize uncertainty. The process known as predictive processing means the brain is constantly asking what is likely to happen next. Temporal boundaries like midnight on January 1st provides unusually clean answers to that question. They mark a clear break in time, allowing the brain to reset prediction about future states. For a brief window, uncertainty drops, and when uncertainty drops, the nervous system relaxes. At the chemical level, this shift is closely linked to dopamine. Contrary to popular belief, dopamine does not encode pleasure, it encodes learning. In landmark experiment, neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz, along with Peter Dyan and Reed Montag, recorded dopamine neuron activity while animals learned reward pattern. They discovered a precise signal. Dopamine increases when outcomes are better than expected. It remains stable when outcomes match expectations, and it decreases sharply when expected reward fail to appear. This pattern is known as reward prediction error. During moments like January 1st, the brain generates unusually optimistic predictions about future success. Those predictions alone elevate dopamine even before any action is taken. Motivation in this sense is anticipatory energy, not proof of change, but expectation of it. predictable. Now think about what usually happens next. A week goes by, then another. Effort starts feeling heavier. Progress feels slower than you expected. And almost without noticing, your thoughts turn inward. I'm just not disciplined enough. I always lose consistency. Something must be wrong with me. But pause there for a second. What if nothing actually went wrong? What if motivation did not disappear? It just stepped back. What if the brain quietly decided that the cost had changed? If that's true, then most of the self-blame people carry is aimed in the wrong direction. As time passes, the brain compares those predictions with reality. Effort becomes tangible. Progress slows. Outcome feels delayed. At this stage, another system becomes dominant. In 2013, cognitive neuroscientists Amitai Shenhav, Matthew Botniewicz, and Jonathan Cohen proposed the expected value of control model. According to this framework, the brain continuously evaluates whether exerting effort is worth its cost. This computation integrates expected reward, effort required, and uncertainty. When expected reward outweighs cost, cognitive control is sustained. When cost rises and reward feels distant, control is reduced. Motivation does not disappear suddenly. It is gradually withdrawn as the equation changes. Two cognitive biases further intensify this mismatch. First is optimism bias, studied extensively by neuroscientist Talisharo. Positive future beliefs are updated more readily than negative ones. Second is the planning fallacy, demonstrated by psychologists Roger Buehler, Dale Griffin, and Michael Ross. People consistently underestimate time, effort, and obstacles. Neo-year motivation is also socially amplified. Psychologists Scott Wiltermuth and Chip Heath demonstrated that synchronized activity increases emotional bonding and commitment. Collective countdowns synchronize attention and arousal across large groups. This shared timing intensifies emotional weight, but only temporarily. The emotional flatness that follows celebration is often misunderstood. This state is not clinical depression. It reflects a temporary reduction in anticipatory signaling. When the future no longer exerts a strong pull on prediction system, dopamine level normalize and the nervous system settles. The brain is not malfunctioning, it is recalibrating. So this is where everything starts to come together, not as advice, not as motivation, but as a pattern that repeats every year for millions of people, almost the same way every time. The rise, the confidence, and then the quiet drop. It is not random and it is not personal. The real question is not why motivation fades. The real question is what the brain is doing when it does. Taken together, these findings reveals a current picture. January 1st does not create motivation out of nothing. It alters prediction, identity framing, and effort valuation briefly. When those conditions returns to baseline, behavior follows. This pattern is not a failure of character. It is the outcome of well-studied neural and cognitive processes. Understanding this does not remove difficulty, but it does replace confusion with clarity. And clarity changes how the rest of the story unfolds. This channel explores how the brain actually works behind everyday thoughts, habit, and emotion to help you understand yourself better. If this helped you understand something about your own mind, like the video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.